welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Duel Commander. This is a format I've only played once before, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I'm doing this because I'm in the recording gap where I'm pretty sure most of the formats I'm going to normally play are going to get bans in a few days from now, but I do need to record now. And I don't think Duel Commander is going to be affected by the upcoming ban list. They got their own thing going on. This is 1v1 Commander, for those who don't know the format. The Commander rules apply. I have Aragorn, King of Gondor, in my command zone. I can cast him anytime. If he dies, I can cast him again and he costs 2 more, and then cost 2 more after that. Duel Commander has its own ban list. If you want to check that out, there are resources online, and it's fully supported on Magic Online with challenges and leagues. Aragorn, King of Gondor, has been making some headway lately. Again, I'm not super plugged into the format, but even I know that a lot of people are having success with Aragorn. This is 1 and Jeskai, 4 mana 4/4 Vigilance Lifelink. When it enters, you become the Monarch. When it attacks, up to 1 target creature can't block, and if you're the Monarch, no creatures can block. This is a gigantic creature with card advantage built in, and the ability to reclaim the Monarch if you lose it. I can see why this would be a successful commander. I get it. The Monarch and Initiative are somewhat risky at an actual commander table if you have 3 opponents. Generally, the Monarch is really hard to hold and it makes you the target. But if we're playing 1v1 Magic anyway, Monarch's pretty busto. Unfortunately, there is no way for me to get the deck on the screen all at once. We'll just go segment by segment here. Lands, Jeskai lands that cast the spells. We've got Giver, Mother, Efficient Interaction. We've got Mana Tithe and Force Spike in the deck. Love that for me. Got this White Border Force Spike too for the extra rub-ins. Some cantrips, some other cheap disruption, the ability to tutor stuff, and then a bunch of sweet cards. We've got a Johnny, Archivist of Ogma, Thelia, Flickering Your Cards is dope. I'm not just going to read every card in the deck, but a bunch of flash threats, a bunch of counter spells. The play pattern is take the Monarch and then leave all your mana up every turn. Flash in a creature if they don't do something, counter it if they do. Ballers like Fairy Mastermind, Snapcaster Mage in the mix. We've got Subtlety, Parallax Wave making an appearance. Parallax Wave, we have Tail's End and Stifle in the deck, and Tishana's Tidebinder. Hull Breacher still legal in this format, let's go. Some top-end bangers like Fourth Aerlingus. This deck is just full of sweet cards, and it is a play pattern I enjoy. I haven't gotten to play Jeskai Control in a long time because Modern and Legacy have been way too hostile to it. And I'm excited to do it right now. Let's play some Duel Commander while we wait for the other formats to get fixed. Announcing the Royal Index, an NYSE Open Qualifier and Charity Vintage Tournament hosted by the Rochester Royals. Saturday, May 31st, come to this unlimited proxy vintage event in Fairport, New York. The winner gets free entry to the $500 NYSE Open or a Portal Imperial Seal. And there's free pizza. Great magic for a great cause and the first step on the path to winning the NYSE's Power 9 prizes. Scan the QR code or use the link to rocroyalsmtg.com in the video description to sign up. I am on the play in round number 1. I like my hand well enough. This Mother of Runes might be awkward to get in with the way my removal lines up, but hand looks great. I'm against Thelia, this little mono white blink deck, and I'll start with this Thundering Falls. I'm kind of just looking for my 4th land, Stern Scolding. I bet that lines up against my opponent's deck extremely well, and that gives me the opportunity to sneak in Mother of Runes. A Plains and a Bodyguard. Okay, Bodyguard makes Unholy Heat a little wonky, but that's okay. I'm going to fetch Tundra here, play my Mother, and I could cycle Lorien Revealed if they don't do anything, and I could Stern Scold if they do something. There's a weird pause in their draw step. I wonder if they just drew a Miracle. I'm going to pay attention next turn and see if there was a pause in every draw step, or if that was a tell. My hole! Okay, I'm in a hole. Goodbye, Mother. I'm not going to Unholy Heat this Benevolent Bodyguard. It's whatever. My next land is more important. Cycle Lorien Revealed in the end step. Okay, I'm going to do a quick assessment. I already have double blue, double red versus double white is my next question. I have Fury, Parallax Wave, Solitude. I have Tithe that can tutor Plains. It seems like it mostly doesn't matter until later. I'll get Volcanic Island because it's untapped. And then go to my turn. Mana Tithe, let's go. Okay. I've got some pieces come together here. A lot of options. I really like the ability to just cast all of your spells as an instant. Okay, there's a stop in this draw step too. I don't think they drew a miracle last turn. They just have a draw step set. Oh, no attack. That's the correct amount of respect. I could throw in Hull Breacher now. I think I'm just gonna... No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll try to hit my land drop. I'll be patient. If they're chilling, I'm chilling. There we go. Found my land. Now I'm not worried about much. They'll probably go for Felia here. I will scold it. Sternly. And the next time they cast it, it'll cost 4, which means Mana Tithe is going to be super live. Tectonic Edge. Gross. I mean, that does actually kill one of my lands straight up. I will not be blocking this. Alright, I hope they don't have some shit that blows out a search, like a Mind Sensor. I'm going to get Meticulous Archive here. Do a little looking around. Seasoned Dungeoneer. I don't want to cast this card. Yeah, alright. In that case, though, if I play this, I can tutor Plains, which can hold up Mana Tithe. But they could play Felia in between. Yeah, I'm just going to bin this. I just want to play hit land drops. Mana Leak. You got it. Oh my goodness. Pay the tithe. Okay, we got them to pay the tithe. This is the first turn of the game since turn 1 that I don't have to respect Felia because she costs 6 right now. Unless they have Ancient Tomb. I don't even know if that card's legal in the format, honestly. Bodyguard's in. I'm going to let this connect one more time, and then I'll probably heat it. Remorseful Cleric. Sack this, exile target player's graveyard. Okay. Okay, they're tech edging my tap Tundra. You got it. Alright, I think I'm actually just going to cast Hull Breacher here. I would like to get on board, so I'm not getting just beat to death by Benevolent Bodyguard. If I get my Mana Tithed here, that's fine. With the missing land drops and getting a land destroyed, I was going to have to work through that anyway. Alright, I could shove the Gorn here. Gorn Hub. Or I could not do that. Yeah, them having this flyer is a beat. I couldn't counter it last turn because they had 3 mana up. Alright, I'm gonna kill Remorseful Cleric. Well, I'm gonna kill Benevolent Bodyguard probably, but go after Remorseful Cleric. Yep. Just trying to get the game to a spot where I can cast Aragorn without getting cooked. Oh god, Dust Bowl. Well, that's good against me too. Oh no. The mono white thing is happening. It didn't Dust Bowl me though. Okay, that is another land. What can I do here? Like play Aragorn and hope I get a turn? They can't cast Felia now. Alright, I'm going to play Otawara and Aragorn. I'm going to leave up red in case I Monarch into a Lightning Bolt. That is, unless my Aragorn gets Lapse of Certainty or something. Reprieve. Yeah, reprieving is reasonable. At least the Monarch was never introduced that way. And they can take me off white with Dust Bowl here. Mishra's Factory, another creature. And Dust Bowl is being tapped. My archive's gone. Now I need some red cards or a white land pretty quick. Glimmer Lens, another creature. Invert Polarity. Just in time. After they've resolved enough spells. They don't have to cast another spell this game. I actually think it would be a mistake if they did. If they just pick off my lands one by one. They're in good shape. If they cast some dope spell and I win my Invert Polarity flip, that is a way I can get back into this. I didn't fire at Mishra's Factory. But they have a draw engine and I'm dead in a few hits and I can't do anything about it. Yeah, Factory is still the same clock next turn. Makes sense to wait. I don't think I'm winning this game. Oh, please cast something insane. They're probably just activating Dust Bowl. Alright, you got me. That's gone. Subtlety. And I'm dead. Okay, yeah, that was sweet. I mean, I had a hand that looked really good to start, but they destroyed 3 of my lands, Mana Tithed me once, and just killed me with random 1 and 2 power creatures. Hell yeah. This is best 2 out of 3. And there's no sideboards. I will submit my deck. I honestly wasn't sure until we went to sideboarding if it was best 2 out of 3 or not. Okay, a bunch of cheap interaction. The lands are low again, but I do like this hand better than my last one. Lava Spur Boots, you got it. I'm going to fetch Meticulous Archive here. Looking for more lands. Pyrogoyf, not it. Not even close. Okay, Basic Plains I'm happy to see. I'll play Sacred Foundry tapped. Anything I would do this turn costs 1. Wash Away can counter Felia. This counters a spell that wasn't cast from its owner's hand, or for 3 mana, counters any spell. Okay, yeah, they're going for Felia in the main phase before I had 2 mana up. Makes sense. Counter spell. Okay, I need another blue source before Snapcaster really does anything I'm interested in, and I need another land. If I can slam Aragorn this turn, I'll be pretty hyped. Enlightened Tutor. Have fun with that. I cannot counter that if I wanted to. Virtue of Loyalty. Okay, that's an instant speed creature. That's not actually a creature that they can tutor for. That's fun. Alright, deck. Come on, land. Not a land. In a little bit of trouble here. Okay, I can't really... I guess I could let this come in. I could Brazen Borrow it. Alright. That's fine. It is a token. They're at 4 mana, which represents Felia, who I can still daze. I'm not going to tap out in the main phase if I can avoid it, so I'll just take the 2. This is where last round started, or last game started spinning out of control too. End step, Petty Theft this night. They're flashing in Felia. I have Flame Slash in my hand, or I could daze it. I think I'd rather Flame Slash and keep my lands in play. If that was an untapped blue source, I'd be interested in dazing, but Stern Scolding's pretty important. Ooh, okay. Speaking of pretty important, there's my second blue source. Can't Aragorn here. I can Flame Slash the Felia. She now costs 6, and I have Counterspell, Daze, Snapcaster Mage available. Virtue of Loyalty is really powerful, but only if there are creatures in play. It's an enchantment that at the beginning of your end step, put a +1 counter on each creature you control and untap them. Okay. I am not going to use a counterspell on this Virtue. This lets me Aragorn onto an empty board. I can also Brazen Borrow. Don't forget to do that. Here we go. Here come the beats. They untap nothing and put +1 counters on nothing. Land, always the best draw, and we hit. Cast the Gorn. I'm in. I'm the Monarch. I have Stern Scolding and Daze available. And I'm pushing damage. Let's go. Everything that didn't happen last game is working up now. I drew Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel. This is the one from Vintage Cube. Flash flying, when it hits you loot, and if it's done it 4 times, you can cast the looted card for free. 6 mana available. Can I Sternly Scold? Okay. Seasoned Dungeoneer is... it gets Lava Spur Boots on it. That's not great. I mean, can't stop it. So we're going to be bashing the Initiative and the Monarch back and forth between us. I have a lifelink creature, though. On Thin Ice. Okay, I don't have a lifelink creature anymore. And I don't have an answer to On Thin Ice. Oh no. I was ready for so many things, but not these. Okay, not great. I can put him in my command zone. I think that is better than being under the ice. Yeah, alright. Gorn, you're in the zone, buddy. And yep, this gets haste. I guess I could have dazed On Thin Ice, and then they couldn't have attacked me here. I'm just going to attack them back, though. And the Monarch, or the Initiative, guarantees that I will have enough mana to cast Aragorn. Their Explorer sees Wandering Emperor, and they are interested in keeping it. Okay. I take some beats. I lose the Monarch temporarily. Now Virtue of Loyalty matters. I'm going to get Thundering Falls. The Plateau. I am going to have a land anyway. I think I'd rather look for an action spell. I drew Iganjo, Seat of the Empire. Attack with Brazen Borrower. Get the Initiative and the Monarch. I still don't have an answer to this Seasoned Dungeoneer. And I am not quite dead on board. I have the trap turn after next. I'll get an island here. Island. I can replay Aragorn and have a lifelink creature available. They're going to attack me for 6, potentially 7. They go into the forge after combat. I have 2/4 damage I can put into play. That's not enough. I think I need Gorn's lifelink. They have Wandering Emperor and 3 unknowns. All right. Aragorn's coming back in. And I get a Monarch trigger up to 7 cards in hand. Memory lapse. Yeah, I think dazing that on thin ice was supposed to happen 2 turns ago. Just the extra turn of bashing with Seasoned Dungeoneer is such a beat. God, speaking of beats, I just lose on the spot to this? I think so. Okay. Well, I'm learning much about the format as I get completely cooked. I do not want to return Aragorn to the command zone, do I? I am not going to return Aragorn to the command zone. I think there's more bounce spells in my deck and things that might help clear a Parallax Wave than there could be a chance that the game goes long enough that I replay Aragorn. They flipped Iganjo into their hand. This is going to be an 8/8 creature that also I lose in their upkeep. Yeah, if I daze the On Thin Ice, then the boots isn't on it, and it doesn't get a... Or it had Virtue of Loyalty would have still kept it out of Flame Slash range. Okay. So it wouldn't have been dead. It would have hit me slower, though. And they do not have Wandering Emperor mana available. They do have Iganjo mana available. Pyrokinesis, that's almost useful. Except I don't have a red card to pitch. And they have Ward. And it's a 7/7. Okay, GG. That was sweet. Felt like my hands were good both games, but just having one thing around making me unable to safely introduce the Monarch. And then if you're behind on the Monarch as a control deck to a mono white deck or any aggro deck, you start losing pretty quick. Maybe I need to start thinking about Aragorn as like a turn 8 or 10 thing. But that's what I tried to do game 1, and they strip mined 3 of my lands. Okay, cool. This was fun. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the draw in round 2 versus Ketramos, the New Dawn. This is a exciting commander. I'm going to keep my hand. Sam is my 4th land because he can pick up a fetch land. Born Oculus is a long way off, but Force of Will Tail's End hopefully can get me to a spot where I resolve Aragorn. Fingers crossed. Ketramos is a cool commander because it doesn't actually do anything on its own, but it's easy to build your deck full of effects that would trigger it, and once it starts triggering, it's great. But that does create interesting mulligan decisions, because I'm going to keep any hand with land and spells because Aragorn is my card advantage engine, but for their engine to kick in, they need a Relic of Progenitus or a Scrabbling Claws or whatever it is they're going to use to keep Ketramos going. And they did mull to 5. Command Tower, I have that too. Inquisition of Kozilek, okay. That resolves. It should probably take Sam, but if they're really worried about Tail's End, I could see that being a thing. If their deck plays Reanimate, they could reanimate my Born Oculus and I'm in trouble. I would have to Force of Will that. And Sam only matters if I don't hit a land in my first bunch of hits, so yeah, I think Tail's End is actually just the right call. Mana Leak. We like it. The Bleachbone Verge only taps for black right now. Sorin, Lifelink, Extort. At the beginning of each post-combat main phase, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, flip it. And the back is plus creative food, minus deals damage equal amount of life I've gained this turn to any target. And minus 6 gain control of target creature. It's a vampire, put a lifelink counter on that if you control a white permanent other than Sorin. Okay, sure. This card's in play. I'm gonna get Meticulous Archive here. Flage. Hell yeah. Do I want this in my hand or do I want to cheat it directly into the graveyard? Because this is a removal spell. Alright, I'm gonna take the Entomb. Just bin it straight up. I am going to play Command Tower this turn. This makes Sam worse, but I did find my 4th land, and I don't want to have to pass on Sam fetch land value if I mana leak something this turn. And if they just shove Ketramos, I am going to leak it. I think I'd counter most things this turn. But we're in that spot where Ketramos doesn't do anything. But my deck is also full of white removal that exiles things, so I'm not in a hurry to allow Ketramos to happen. Okay, here's Kaya. This is one that pops off with Ketramos. They don't know about mana leak. Yeah, plus exile 2 cards from a single graveyard. If at least one was a creature, you gain 2 life. That is a static engine that buffs Ketramos while moving them towards a win con while also exiling my Flage. No thanks. And Sorin gets in 1/4 lifelink. Huge for a 2-drop. Gitaxian Probe. Do I want to know? They've got 1 card. All right, yeah, let's go. I want to know. I want to know if I need to counter Ketramos or not. They have Witch Enchanter. Oh, Hullbreacher's pretty good against Ketramos, I've heard. I could, if I'm willing to incinerate my Flage, just jam a Born-Oculus right now. Like, fetch, exile 6 things. It gives up on Sam value. It lets Ketramos resolve. I think this is the right thing to do. I'm going for it. What do I need? Volcanic Island? I have a basic mountain in my hand. It's just another Tundra, or Tundra, I guess. Yeah, Tundra. And I'll exile these cards before Ketramos cares about it. Yeah, with knowing their hand, I think if I don't have Gitaxian Probe, well, it's a double whammy because I literally can't do it if I don't probe, but if I don't know that they don't have removal. Okay, I hit 2 creatures. Fairy Mastermind, we know what that does. Pippin, I've never read in my life. 2/2 Vig Ward. Another target creature you control gains protection from the card type of your choice. That sounds great. Right, Fairy Mastermind to the graveyard. That means my opponent knows I hit a creature because this one is pretty solid and I didn't take it. If I can untap with this Pippin available, I'm going to feel really good about life. But they did just zap in. Are they just going to extort Ketramos, or did they draw a 4-drop removal spell? Okay. They are extorting Ketramos. There are 7 cards in exile, thanks to me. This is Menace, Lifelink, Indestructible. Menace is really good. All right. Sorry, Hullbreacher, you're out. They didn't extort, though, which might mean they drew Mana Tithe, which would be really annoying. Oh my god. They're tapping mana. It's black mana, though. Okay, cut down. All right. Well, losing my Pippin sucks, but at least I'm not getting Ketramos. Not yet, anyway. And I can confidently shove Aragorn this turn. All right, I'm Gorning. Gorning out. Let the Gornage begin. How are these Aragorn jokes landing for you? Okay, Oculus. I will put Flame Slash face down. I don't think that matters. I guess I have Snapcaster Mage in the deck. Right, they can redeploy Ketramos here. That's pretty powerful. Thanks to my Oculus, there are 7 cards in exile. And the lifelink will flip Sorin in the future. Spell Pierce. Mishra's Factory, Vig, lifelink. That would just die. Born Oculus, get in. My hand all has flash. That's how the deck is built. My poor Pippin. I needed him. Monarch draws Iganjo. Force Spike, face down, land in the graveyard. It can't be destructed. Yeah, I'll block with these dopes that just exist to die. Sorin will flip in the second main, which triggers Ketramos. Deals damage to any target equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. So they can kill Aragorn here. They've gained 4 life. I could use Sam to pick him back up if I don't want him in the graveyard, or I don't want him in the command zone. If they extort me, oh god. All right, Demonic Bargain. Exile the top 13 cards of your library. Okay. I'm going to see if they want to extort me first, because if they pay for extort, then Spell Pierce is on. But extorting me does let them kill a Born Oculus. And I would rather counter this Tutor, I think. Okay, Spell Pierce that. Small victories. We take them. They are going to ravenously neonate my Oculus. They know I have Sam in my hand. I'm going to pick that Oculus back up. Ketramos triggers on your turn, right? Put into exile from graveyards or the battlefield during your turn. Okay, so Felia on my turn still works. I'm going to make Samwise my ring bearer. And then I'm going to play Felia. Who let the dogs out? Okay, Lightning Bolt. Is that card any good? I'm not convinced. Oh wait. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's very good. Check for lethal. That's the first job. Attack my opponent's life points directly. Ketramos can't block, and Felia will exile Sorin. Might be better as a creature. If this doesn't work, that was probably a mistake. Just like casting spells. Oh, they do have a spell. Sorin's gone. They floated white. They're gonna ephemerate Ketramos. Okay, they were just messing with me. Floated a white for no reason. Went to 1. Lightning Bolt. Okay, Lightning Bolt, big draw. The tempo flip at the end there was a lot of fun. Here we are looking at my deck list. Unable to change it, and back in. Needle Verge is white on the back. This hand does not make blue mana. I don't think I can keep this. Mulligan, a 1-lander. But I have a lot of cheap and free spells. I'll try it. Pyroglyph's out of here. Opponent kept 7 this time. Urborg Relic. Okay, the full modern deck is online. Wooded Foothills. Green is awkward. I want Meticulous Archive, so I have to play Marsh Flats here. Or the availability of Tundra to Stern's Gold or Spell Pierce something is important as well. The Surveil's less important now that I have this. Okay, if they just pass, I'll just go to my turn, because Archivist of Ogma versus that fetch land's pretty fun. Wooded Foothills is in. I can't counter Ketramos anyway, so I should probably just draw cards here. I'm going to fetch for Tundra, and then cast Archivist. This just gains life and draws a card. It's not that good, but Ketramos plus Relic. Like I said, Ketramos needs a little bit to get going, but if it is going, it's very good. All right, cut down. Now I have to hope they don't have the 3rd land ready to go. Shadowy Backstreet. Kept the card. They're definitely playing Ketramos this turn. I have bad news for everyone. Oh, okay. They want a Demonic Bargain. You exile the top 13 cards of your deck, and then you Demonic Tutor. They lost some lands, Oppo Agent, Ossification, Serum Powder. Interesting. That's cool tech. Shieldred, Sinu, Keen-Eyed Protector, card I've never seen in life. Soul Cauldron, Withering Boon, love that one. Robert Bliss art. Okay, so they just tutored from most of their deck. I do have lands to drop here, and I'll pass. Still can't interact with Ketramos. The conditional counterspells in my hand have the wrong conditions. They could just like Thoughtseize me here and know exactly what's going on. Speak of the devil. I've been Thoughtseized. My thoughts. The bargain also turns on Ketramos automatically. 13 cards in exile. Took Spell Pierce. Does that mean their plan isn't even to cast Ketramos? Nope, they're still in. Okay. And I'm gonna fetch for a Surveil land in response to this activation. Thundering Falls. Just in case something happens here. Ooh. Is that card even good? I'm gonna put it on top because I don't want it in exile, but I don't think it helps me. Exile Wooded Foothills. And Indestructible. Serious words. I think I just have to jam Aragorn here. I know I lose the Monarch and potentially the game, but I'm losing the game if I don't get the Monarch and start doing stuff. I need an exile-based removal spell pretty quick, and even then, their next land just recasts the Kestramos. They can draw 2 cards minimum this turn just with Relic of Progenitus if they're willing to sack it, but they already have 6 cards in hand. I have concerns. It says Menace, I'm not allowed to block it. Oh my god. Sinu, the card I never read. When a legendary creature you control attacks and isn't blocked, if this is exiled, put it onto the battlefield attacking. Okay. Maybe I should have read that. Not that I could have done anything about it, but yeah, that's sweet. I'm learning about all these cool cards I've never seen. And you can exile this, gain 2 life, scry 2. Awesome. Unlicensed Hearse. Got to target yourself at this point, but still worth it. That can also infinitely reset Sinu, but so could Relic of Progenitus. We're watching their deck do its thing. Okay. Aragorn has Vig and Lifelink, but not any sort of evasion, so I do need to deal with Sinu. Unholy Heat seems as good as anything. Brazen Borrower bouncing Ketramos does buy me a little bit of breathing room. They can replay it, but I'll at least hold the Monarchy for a turn. That also keeps Sinu off my back. Okay, Monarch confirmed. I'll go to my end-step draw before I do anything else. What's going on here? Tainted Pact, fun. Yeah, this is just stop at whatever card you want in a singleton format. Delta, Flagstones, Mire, Hive. I'm not going to read every card they flip. Okay, they have Parallax Wave in their hand. That's a good one. Daze is in my hand. I think I should bounce Ketramos now. They could still activate Unlicensed Hearse. Bummer. Alright, yeah, I'm not even safe here. But if they replay Ketramos, then they're not waving. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if Tainted Pact counts as exiling each card individually for the purposes of Ketramos. It probably does, right? And then you would just draw X, where X is the number of cards you exile with Tainted Pact. That sounds insane, actually. Alright, Ketramos is back. Can't do anything about it. Starting to dig again. Damn! Okay. I've been damned. I would like Aragorn in the command zone, please. And now I lose the Monarch to Unlicensed Hearse. I can't imagine ever winning this game, but I'm going to keep trying. I'll fetch my Elegant Parlor, or Meticulous Archive. Archive still is in there. Memory Lapse, too late for counterspells. Fairy Mastermind is at least something, except not really, because I know they have Parallax Wave in their hand. I guess I just take a bunch of damage this turn and play Brazen Borrower and Fairy Mastermind, and then try to catch up. Okay, they can play around this. If I play Mastermind and they just tap Unlicensed Hearse in response, then this will be their third draw for turn. Okay. They did not do that. I guess I should have let... No, it doesn't matter. The sequencing doesn't matter. If they make that play, they got me. But they did not make that play. Parallax Wave resolves. Taking my Fairy, that draws another card. Duress. Okay. My hand's real bad. Good luck. Have fun. Ketramos beats. And cast Brazen Borrower, which they can also Parallax Wave, but it's not doing anything in exile. Discarded some lands in the end step. I will try attacking. It didn't work. Color me surprised. Playing Aragorn here, it just dies to Parallax Wave. I guess I have to Witch Enchanter the Wave. I get my squad back. And I will pass. Fairy Mastermind is on the board. They'll have to remove it before drawing any extra cards. The Hearse just ate some stuff in the end step. They know my whole hand. Murderous Cut, my Mastermind. I'll still draw a card on the way out because that's how Ketramos works. Oust! I needed that about 150 turns ago, but it is exciting to see. Bajuka Pog, sweet. Turns out there's a lot of ways to trigger Ketramos in Magic the Gathering. Not gonna block. Can't. Literally can't. The bird comes back. Sinu, the keen-eyed Jaglord. Liliana of the Veil. I'm about to lose a Witch Enchanter. The Enchanter's gone. I'm at 3 life. That's not very much. So Unlicensed Hearse is a problem. Liliana's a problem. Basically everything here is a problem. Flage is the thing that pitches to both of these, and drawing Solitude is kind of a bummer, honestly. Okay, I'm going to play Flage first and kill Sinu. All my opponent needs here is just any version of Fatal Push, and they're fine. I'll attack you. Swords of Plowshares. That qualifies as any version of Fatal Push. Okay. I'm just going to pack it up here. I don't think I'm coming back. And time on the clock matters, and I don't want to show them Oust and Solitude in a game I'm losing. Okay, I don't have white until turn 2, and the white is super awkward to create. I think I will keep the hand, though. Opponent kept 7 again. Otawara, pass. I can Spell Pierce a turn 1 Relica Progenitus effect, which would have completely rewritten last game. Lightning Bolt. Okay. I don't think I can afford to filter white into this Giver of Runes right now. Dust Bowl. We've already established I can never beat that card. Alright, deck. Time for a land, maybe. Bad news, everyone. Just gonna pass the turn. There's no rules on Dust Bowl. 3 mana, sack a land, destroy target non-basic. Okay, they're playing the pass game. This is ugly, but I'm just gonna run out this Snapcaster Mage. And I drew Sulphur Falls. Magic's easy. It does come into play tapped because my lands aren't actually islands. But I will take it. I am not too proud here. I can stifle a Dust Bowl activation, which Uno reverses and kills one of their lands for 3 mana. Something's happening in the end step. Oppo Agent. Well, I'll Lightning Bolt that next turn. Can't really afford to remand on my own turn here. They'll just replay that thing. Oppo Beatdown. Scrabbling Claws. Alright, well, they did it. They got it past my Spell Pierce. That was good patience. Well played. Oust. That is one of my answers to Ketramos. I am just going to pass here. I'll leave up Snapcaster. It can block Oppo. I'm not interested in a damage race here. And if I could save my spell, I will. Bloodstained Mire. Okay, they just passed after their land drop. I'll Galvanic Discharge Oppo now. Discharge is worse than Lightning Bolt because it can't go face. I don't really have any other energy stuff going on. Malcolm, okay. More Flash Gaming is available. Snapcaster, go in. Starting at 20 life in this format is so sweet. The games actually end. Unlike 30 and 40 life formats, where you just play forever. They might Dust Bowl me in the end step. I will stifle the activation. Okay, they didn't Dust Bowl me. Cool. Scrabbling. They scrabbled their own Bloodstained Mire out. Porphyry Nodes. That card is so nice. Yeah, this is just Drop of Honey. During each of their upkeeps, they destroy the creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. If 2 or more creatures are tied for least power, choose one of them. If there's no creatures in play, sack Porphyry Nodes. Pretty strong when you have an indestructible commander. Do I run Malcolm into this thing? I kind of think I do. Not that I'm happy about it, but their life total is diminishing. My hand does need a little bit of help. I can stifle a Nodes trigger if I need to. It beats for 4. I have Lightning Bolt and Remand. If I can keep them from gaining life while pushing, this could work. Malcolm, I get to loot. I don't think I want Force Spike. Am I ever playing this Giver of Runes? I could play it right now and it would absorb the nodes. Yeah, I think I'm going to discard Force Spike and then play Giver of Runes and just let it die, keeping my pressure on the board. Sacred Foundry, zap it in, play Giver. Right on time. I don't trust all this open mana to just jam Aragorn. Not doing it. Something's happening. Maybe not. Change their mind. Swords to Plowshares. Okay. So now Nodes kills Snapcaster. I exile Force Spike from my graveyard. Oh, wait, did they pick it? Oh, they choose. So Nodes will kill Malcolm. I think I want to stifle this. I think it's time to push. Stifle your Nodes. And I can remand Ketramos and try to get over the hump that way. Dark Ritual. Okay, remand's not going to work on Ketramos anymore. Grief. I can remand that. Do I want to? Hold on. Let's think. Any black card in their hand, they can pitch Grief. That probably takes Oust. Yeah, I will remand this. Because if they just shove Ketramos with their remaining mana, that's not enough. Oh god, I'm getting tithed! It's impressive how good all of these cards are. The Force Spikes are in this format. I think they have to take Lightning Bolt now. Yep. But tithing did cost them Ketramos for the turn. Spell Snare. The card's interesting. I'm going to attack with just Malcolm. I probably am shoving Aragorn this turn. Invert Polarity. Oh my goodness. If I discard Spell Pierce... Alright, I'm going to discard Spell Pierce, and I am not going to jam Aragorn now that I have something else to do. Malcolm dies to Nodes this turn, but if I gain control of their Ketramos, none of that matters. Okay, Malcolm's dead. Yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't know that I was going to draw this and keeping these little creatures around. Like, if they trade Grief for Snapcaster, then they kill Malcolm with Nodes, then Nodes dies. That's a better line. If I know that I have a hard counter in my hand. Which I don't. I do now. I've learned. Okay, blue, red. Let's flip coins. Is this my Ketramos, or is it in the command zone? It's a big flip. Ooh, okay. Guess what? Had it. Had it. Alright, heads. I won the flip. I have a Ketramos. That should determine the game. Nice, okay. A little scrappy. We both tried to play Drago forever, and my one lander got just over the edge of where it needed to go. Malcolm did just enough loots and literally winning a coin flip at the end. Sweet. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw for round 3 versus an Aminatou. That's fun. This is a card I've played on the channel many times. Esper Blink is what this facilitates. I know I'm literally just describing how Commander works, but it is so nice to be able to register a deck that's just a bunch of interactive instants and know that you will always have the win con in your hand. Every hand in this deck looks so sick. I kept Spell Snare on top because I believe. Let's see if I'm right. Hopefully it finds a home eventually. I'm prepared to no more lies this Aminatou if they just shove it. Brace of Fellrights. And here I am with a lousy Spell Snare. No more liesing that is relevant because it does work out of the graveyard and no more lies exiles, but I would rather keep my more broad counter available. Thundering Falls, get this. Lorien Revealed. That can be a land if it needs to be. Yeah, I'll keep that on top. I would love to shove this Fable of the Mirror Breaker, but I am pretty hyped about Invert Polarity and No More Lies available. So we see Port of Carfall. This, for 6 mana, they could sack it, mill 4 cards, then reanimate a creature tapped. The Reanimator, clearly a sub-theme here, between the Priest and the Port. I'm going to go find a Tundra. Brazen Borrower's cool. Subtlety now live. Tainted Pact, yeah. Go ahead. Dig away. Thassa's Oracle, I'm pretty sure, is banned in this format. A lot of those combos don't exist here that you would see in CDH. This is mostly just a weird tutor. Okay, they stopped at Baleful Strix after exiling Brainstorm Terminus, Grief for Fiend's Tower, Collective Brutality, and Ashen Rider. That card is not worthless. I'm not going to invert its polarity. I have Prismatic Ending. Yeah, whatever. That's an interesting thing to be digging for off of a Tainted Pact. You know, it didn't even occur to me to shove my commander last turn. Maybe I was supposed to do that. Now I have Plow. I imagine their deck has big creatures in it. All right, I'm going to Prismatic End this Baleful Strix. Did I walk into Spell Snare? Mana Leak. All right, whatever. I'm not fighting back. You can have your Strix if it means that much to you. It didn't attack. Inquisition of Kozilek. Well, that's shitty. All right, well, that resolves. Once again, successfully played around No More Lies. I guess the leaks and lies and spikes are just so common in this format that if you can afford to play around them, you just always should. All of my opponents have done a pretty good job not just ramming spells into these cards. I took Fable. Okay, leaving my wall of interaction, but taking away the engine makes sense. Mother! Okay. I have a spell I can cast. Opponent is missing land drops, which means their hand is all spells. But my hand is also all spells. They found land number 5. One more and they can play Aminatou through No More Lies. They still have to get by Invert Polarity and Subtlety, though. No attacks. Second main fetch. Okay, there's Aminatou. I'm going to No More Lies. That leaves up Swords to Plowshares if they try to flicker their Strix. Like if they win this counter war. It leaves up Invert Polarity for later. This was going to be the last time No More Lies was useful anyway. I think I'm going to try to go for a big move here. Plow the Strix. Do I just play Aragorn? If it resolves, I'm way ahead. But I'm not actually doing anything if it doesn't. All right, yeah, I'm just going to pass. I'm not going for the big move. Land number 6 showed up. I think I'll just cast Brazen Borrower here. I got to do something. This Port of Carfell, the Planeswalker they could cast over and over again. Got to put some damage on the board somewhere. And now I feel much better about holding up this interaction. I will play Otawara, even though it is potentially useful in my hand. But mana is all useful right now. They can Priest of Fell Rites if they get a creature into the graveyard. They're 1 mana away from Karfell, which mills 4. So there is a random element to this, but it could hit Priest of Fell Rites if the random fails. Takenuma. Okay, so remember 4 turns ago when I said their hand is all spells? They've drawn all lands since then. They don't know about Parallax Wave in my hand. I don't know anything that's going on in theirs. Karfell can be activated as an instant. This could happen in my end step. All right, they're not doing that. Another land. If they've been sitting on something like Archon of Cruelty or Hullbreaker Horror, they're now at a spot where they could cast those cards. The reanimation idiots are alive. Okay, Aminatou. I'm going to subtlety this. This adds damage to the board, and I don't really care about controlling Aminatou. Lose focus. Okay. I've lost my focus. They get to resolve Aminatou, which can set up a miracle, but that means I get to resolve Aragorn. This would be a big turn to draw an untapped land. Aminatou's abilities are plus draw a card, put a card from your hand on top, minus exile target permanent you own, then return it to the battlefield, and -6, the players exchange all non-land permanents. Just switch them around. Okay, so they're untapping their Drowned Catacombs with Aminatou. Hieroglyph, what's up? I'm just going to attack Aminatou here. And we are back in this holding pattern. I'm just going to pass, keep holding up Invert Polarity. As soon as I find land number 7, I get multiple powerful plays available to me, and my opponent is dying in the meantime. Aminatou costs 7 now. Okay, yeah, they just keep committing her. I can still just keep killing her in combat, so whatever. If they don't have stuff to blink, I care a lot less. Okay, they're using the draw loot ability, or not really a loot, the miracle setup ability. Counterspell. That works with Aragorn. Alright, I'm going to go face. I'm going to play Aragorn. I'm going to try to protect him with Counterspell, and then win somehow. Though, if I pass with Counterspell and Invert Polarity available, and then Pyroglyph is lethal from hand next turn, yeah, I'm not going to risk tapping out in my main phase. They're a Reanimator deck. I don't want some giant thing to surprise me here. Aminatou's drawing another card, and they played a land. Lands are good here. They have been setting up the top of their deck, so Port of Karfell can actually hit something on purpose now. And it looks like it's time. What do we got? Massacre Worm and Valgavoth. I'm kind of more worried about the Massacre Worm, though they're both really bad for me. The Worm is back. Okay, my creatures are dead. I lose a bunch of life. Philology Archaeologist. Mill 3, get a non-creature non-land from among the milled cards into your hand. These are at random. I don't think I'm going to interact with that. Frantic Search, Unburial Rites. Those are pretty good. They took back Unburial Rites. Now I have to figure out what I'm doing this game. I could just cast Pyroglyph, hold up Counterspell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unburial Rites, front and back, are alive here. I'm suddenly losing from dominating to getting obliterated. They don't need to cast another spell. Yeah, maybe I should have fought harder over Aminatou. I wasn't thinking about the port setting up reanimation targets. That was sick. Okay, Valgavoth has Ward, sack 3 non-land permanents. That is not possible. The lifelink will beat me. I mean, Aragorn is unblockable. Or nope. Or creatures can't block. Target creature can't block is really bad for me. Creatures can't block is good for me. And I don't want to chump block the Massacre Worm, but maybe I have to. Yikes. Yeah, this became very shitty all of a sudden. Pyroglyph can kill Massacre Worm, but then what am I doing about Valgavoth? Aragorn has to attack to get the no blocks clause. Okay, I think I found the line. It's play Pyroglyph this turn, exile it with Parallax Wave, and then make the game last long enough. Okay, I'm going to cast Pyroglyph. I'm pretty worried about this Cling to Dust, just passively gaining life. That sucks. Okay, going face with that. Opponent's at 4. And I will pass the turn. My plan is to counter the front of Unburial Rites, and then they'll flash back the back, and then I need to draw a permanent I can exile with Parallax Wave to win. Because I need Valgavoth to not connect in combat. They could also unearth Priest of Fell Rites and not even give me a chance to counterspell. Cool. Alright, they did decide to do that. This does put them to 1. You have to pay 3 life to use this. That gives me some live hits in the deck. I play some burn spells. Attacking with the worm. Yeah, that happens. My Goyf is not ready to die. I need it. Oh, there might be another thing where I basically delete my whole board to deal with Valgavoth. If I target all their creatures first and Valgavoth last, and I sacrifice... So if I evoke Fury... Okay, there might be a plan here. Okay, they're flickering their Priest of Fell Rites rather than going to 1. Okay, they're playing scared and I need them to. This is good. You can't Unburial Rites with the mana that's showing. They can Cling to Dust with the mana that's showing. Swords of Plowshares, chill. Alright. I actually do need this card. Counterspell that. So right now they're just dead. Okay, what? Alright, did they know about the Parallax Wave? Okay, that was weird. They played around maybe too much. Certainly the wrong things. Whether it is fair to say they did it wrong or they just planned for certain things and I had the other things, it's hard to say. But okay. I am a believer in Mana Tithe. I'm going to keep this hand. I have the cheapest and most expensive cards in my deck right now, in my hand with 5 lands. Command Tower, pass. I didn't need another land here, but at least it's Otawara. The perfect mana base. Rafine's Tower, Reflecting Pool. Oh no. Well, discard spells are really good. All of my opponents so far, or 2 of my 3 opponents have had them, and they've been great every single time. Okay, they took the Lingus. It must be the plan to play around the Tithe then. Ooh, Pippin. I'm going to play Thundering Falls now while the getting's good. Don't need this Arid Mesa. Got 3 mana over there. Sink into Stupid. We're going to deploy Pippin. Basic Plains. Pippin. That's fine. It was going to happen eventually. Now they can play Aminatu and leave up 2 mana if they flicker one of their lands. We're in there. And they did flicker a land. Invert Polarity. Boy, do I like that card. I'm not shoving Aragorn into 2 open mana. They're starting to sculpt. Tap land. I can bounce Aminatu if I start getting worried about it. I'm content to play Drago for now. Looting again. Or Miracle Looting. We don't have a term for that. Brainstorming, I guess. Mini storming. Tail's End. Okay, now I can bounce Aminatu and counter it on the way back down, but then they can just play it again. Planeswalkers are full of activated abilities, though. Counter target activated, triggered, or legendary thing. Escape Pathway on the back. Aminatu goes off at 6. Prismatic Ending, okay. I should use Mystic Gate for this, I think. Is that even true? Blue, white, red. I can't do this. I have to do it. I can't do it like this. That taps me out of polarity. But mana's hard. Blue, white, red. This taps me out of Mana Tithe. Okay, I'm going to try to exile Aminatu. I'm probably going to have to play Otawara as a land this turn. These lands are so important. Something's happening. Wash away. Counter target spell. That's fine. Okay, I am going to play Otawara. I still have Sink into Stupor. And I'm now at 7 mana, which is play Aragorn and use a counter spell. And we just flushed out Wash Away, which is a super clean counter for Aragorn. They shifted Fate again. I think I'll just go to my turn. I'm not even worried about Aminatu. If I play Aragorn, I have Invert Polarity to protect him. Blue, white, red, colorless. Nope, can't invert polarity there. All right, here we go. All right, the Gorn. Sigourney Weaver. Faithful Mending. So they're looting in response. That's fine. Don't have to fight over that. Ashen Rider Frantic Search. They have a reanimate target now. Ashen Rider is a hell of a thing to be in play with Aminatu, though. Losing Focus. For 1 kajillion copies. Okay. Aragorn's countered. Cool thing about commanders is he'll be right back. Now my opponent has 1 card in their hand and Amanatu on 6. My hand is still full of interaction, but I can't cast very much of it in 1 turn here. Okay, moving cards around again, up to 7. I'm going to bounce Amanatu in the end step, just see if I can get them to do anything with their mana before I go to my turn, where I would like to cast Aragorn. Mana leak, cool. Okay, the Gorn costs 6. That could leave up Tail's End. If they have a reanimate, this is bad news. Okay. I think I'm going for it. Here he is. The Gorn. They've got 1 card in their hand. I have multiple conditional counterspells in mine. Monarch trigger. They can Faithful Mending in the end step if they don't like their hand already. They just shuffled away a stinker. I Ganjo. Not quite what I was looking for. Okay. So they went for the swap all permanents thing. I'm going to counter that. Just borrowing my Aragorn makes a lot of sense. All right, emergency Faithful Mending in response. Discarded 2 lands. Okay, that happened. If they have a reanimate, they're still okay here. If they can get Ashen Rider right now, oh, Bitter Triumph, that I don't care about. I have introduced the Monarchy, and I didn't lose it. I didn't lose the Monarch or the game on the turn where I kicked that in. Oh, what's up? Certified Banger Alert. Watch out. You are my true name nemesis. This card's usually worse in Commander, but here it's awesome. I'm going to hold on to Iganjo. I feel like it could be useful still. Amanatu is moving cards around still. And they've had enough. Cool. Just sat on that Tail's End, let them tick up Amanatu forever. A few little cheeky little bounce spells that weren't even that important that flushed out various counters. And get the Monarch, pull ahead. Sweet. Next round, let's go.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 4. My opponent has Bruce and Yoshimaru as their commanders. In Duel Commander, you can only play one of these. You can still use the partner mechanic for the colors, but I suspect my opponent's going to have turn 1 Yoshimaru and then just be Boros aggro. Like Bruce is here for the colors. Disappointing hand to be on the draw with, but I will keep it. This one is white in the front, and here is Yoshimaru. 1 mana, 1/1. Whenever another legendary permanent enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on it. Okie dokie. Windswept Heath does not fetch Volcanic Island, which could be a problem here. I could have played Otawara to avoid this. Yeah, if I have to fetch Tundra here, it's actually kind of bad. Loyal Apprentice. Well, I don't want that card resolving. Yeah, I should have let on Otawara and played around this high likelihood. Not even a possibility, just this inevitability. Yoshimaru gets a damage in. Okay, Counterspell or Archivist of Ogma, both available here. I would love to block Yoshi, but it seems just too easy and too obvious. If they have literally anything, I lose my card. Gamble. Ogma Balls. This is a deck search. I'll take it. Okay. Archivist gets a trigger. I hope that's better than the counterspell. It feels better, being on board versus countering a gamble. Discarded Boromir, Warden of the Tower. I suspect that's not what they tutored for, though it is a legend. I guess it is a legend that would protect Yoshimaru. I don't know the deck well enough to say with any confidence whether that's something they would have dug for that early or not. I'm not racing this deck. I'm trying to blunt the offense. I will not be attacking back here. Flage. Wow, No More Lies is the perfect answer to that. Counter it, and it's exiled. Don't mind if I do. And I played around Mana Tithe. Okay, Yoshi is pumping the brakes. Here I am getting punished for my turn 1 land selection, and I just don't have a card to play here. Got a couple of counterspells. Once I get 4 mana, we're good, but... Ooh, Minas Tirith. Oh, wow. That counts as a legend. Yeah, whenever a legendary permanent. Yeah, it doesn't say creature. Okay. Yoshimaru. So sick. Tajik, the Legion's Edge. This card's really good. Prevent all non-combat damage you dealt to other creatures you control. Haste Mentor. I think I'd like my opponent to lose focus on this. I'm trying to flame slash that Yoshimaru. I can't have Tajik in play. Yeah, they did not attack. Found a land. It's a slow land, but it counts. Any land I'll take. Wow, mental misstep. My plan is to kill Yoshi next turn, so mental misstepping it is actually nutso. I can still wash away with Cleave. Chain Lightning. Disappointed. Okay, that's gone. It drew a card, and then drew out a removal spell. I'll take it. The Boom Zoom Boomby Dooms. I don't think so. Okay, shut that down. I didn't get Mana Tithe. It's crazy how scared of that card I am after playing this format for 3 rounds. Untap land. Oh, right. I knew that was mental misstep. It was there the whole time. Flame Slash this. Play Abhorrent Oculus. I'm going to leave Flame Slash in the graveyard for my Snapcaster. Oculus, I will make, I guess, Marsh Flats a creature. Again, leaving Tail's End in the graveyard for Snapcaster. I think with a 5/5 in play, I'm not even worried about Yoshi, and I'm going to hold this mental misstep for a Swords to Plowshares, and they're just dead. Cool. All right, blunting the offense, turning it back around. That's the job I must do. I failed versus White Weenie earlier. Time to reclaim my life here. Gitaxian Probe is the wrong Phyrexian mana spell, but I am going to keep the hand. Got Ogma again. I'm ready. First appearance of Tithe, sicko from the early days of Magic. Search your library for planes. If target opponent has more lands than you, get another planes. Nice. They don't make them like they used to. And I'm on the draw where Tithe thrives. They mulled to 6. I'll take it. Remand pretty stinky versus this deck, though. I'm going to start with Probe. I need to know what's going on. Inti, Arena of Glory, Sokenzan, Squee. Okay, so they can be attacking with Inti next turn thanks to Arena of Glory. First appearance of Force Negation. That's not helpful. I think I'll be fetching Meticulous Archive this turn, so that means I need this Windswept Heath in play. Yes, Shinka and Sokenzan are also both legends. Yeah, okay, so they went with Shinka instead of Arena. Guess they figured they got enough beats already. Inti works. And then they can discard and grow Yoshi. Unlikely they'll be able to play a card this turn. Okay, just declined to even do it. Coward. Meticulous Archive. I am looking for any version of Lightning Bolt that my deck plays. Giver of Runes, no. Memory Lapse, that's a little slow to the party. Mishra's Factory can block as a 3/3 starting next turn. Just feel like I don't have time for that. I'm going to play Sulphur Falls. Squee Dubious Monarch has haste. I would have to remand this. That's a lot going on. They could also attack, discard Squee to Inti, because Squee has fake escape. Here come the beats. These creatures can both gain first strike from Shinka, so jumping in Ogma doesn't even matter. Giver of Runes. Wow, that's bad. They do only have 1 white mana here. I'm going to remand this. Just trying to find any Lightning Bolt. And that makes that not a plan anymore. Spell Pierce, ick. I think we're losing team. I could Tithe right now for 2 cards. But I don't really need 2 cards. I guess I'll play this Plains and pass. Tithe is also an instant, so I can do that anytime. My goodness. Oh, they're channeling Sokenzan. Right, they have 2 legends. That is how that works. And they flipped Animpockle. I've seen the other Pockle. Are they siblings, lovers? Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnomes creatures, put a +1 counter on Animpockle, then create X 1/1 colorless gnomes where that are tapped and attacked, and X is the number of +1 counters. Okay. That's bad. I'm losing to everything here. I could have memory lapsed that, but I feel like I need to be on the board somehow, some way. Okay, so they get a gnome, and they can Squee, or Inti here. Still haven't Intied. Okay. Archivist of Ogma. I think I have to block Inti with this. So at least break up something that's going on. I'm at 2. End step Tithe for 1 plains. What do I need here? Flage is pretty decent. My life total is so low at this point. I'll get a Tundra and probably concede. I found Daze. I could play my 4/4 commander. If I block Yoshi, I still take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, super dead. Okay. Obliterated. Now we're on the play for the final round. I would like 1 mana interaction for Yoshi. That counts. I'm going to keep the shit out of this hand. Force of Negation looks like a huge brick for this matchup, but the Oust is really nice. And then Solitude, 4th Aerlingus. I like everything else that's going on in this hand. Giver of Runes can even keep Yoshi back as a 1/1. Witch Bless Meadow. Gonna take some beats for their faithful dog. Oh, Skrelv Deflector Might. Leading on that one. Seems we have similar ideas here. This is an artifact creature. I just drew Witch Enchanter. Another target creature you control. That one cannot protect itself. It also can't block. Yeah, I'm just going to pass with my Giver up. Here's Yoshi. And I'll get the Thundering Falls in the end step. Taking any land here, Sacred Foundry qualifies. Now I have some options. I can yeet my hand to clear their board. I could oust the Skrelv, and then in response to them giving Yoshi protection, I can Solitude that, but that costs me Witch Enchanter, which is my 4th land for Aragorn. I could also just 4th Aerlingus, make a 2/2 and pass. Just don't attack, don't introduce the Monarch. My creatures have protection. That's better than Hexproof. Okay, yeah, I'm going to make a single horse with 4th Aerlingus. Giddy up. Don't tithe me, bro. Okay, I have a horse. I do not want to give the Monarchy to this Boros aggro deck. I can play Aragorn next turn, and this is just Grey Ogre, 3 mana 2/2, which somehow is powerful on this board. Volcanic Fissure played as a land. That's good news. I guess it's kind of bad news, because if they're playing Witch Bless Meadows and Volcanic Fissures as lands instead of lands as lands, that means the other 6 cards in their hand are spells. Thalia, Heretic Cathar. Hate that. Creatures and non-basics enter tap for me. Okay. Can't stop it, but there it is. I could Solitude it. Solitude would enter tapped. Except Skrelv is protecting it, so that's not even true. Okay, Witch Bless Meadow. Play it tapped. I would not like to pay 3 life, because I'm not a sucker. Okay, passing the turn. Finally played a normal land. If it isn't Duel Commander staple, Sinu Keen-Eyed Protector. This is a legend that can jump in and out of play. Yoshi's big now. They still don't really have good attacks, though. I think I should have ousted this Skrelv last turn, just planning for a turn where I play Aragorn this turn. Block. Protection from white. Obviously, this could be some feint to get me to use my Giver, but I'm not just going to let Yoshimaru beat me down while I have a plan. Hey, is Sam better as Solitude fodder or as Sam? I could also Solitude, hit Skrelv, play Sam, buy back Solitude all right now. That loses the oust, but I think that's okay. Okay. End step Solitude, pitching oust. Exile Skrelv as the only target that's going to work. Solitude goes away. Samwise enters tapped, gets back Solitude. Makes somebody my ring bearer. I think I would like Samwise himself to be my ring bearer. Plowing my mother. My Giver. Or not my mother. Leave my mother out of this. Okay, Samwise is my ring bearer. And now drawing any white card is good. Blue Delta is not a white card. This does let me hardcast Solitude next turn. Do I introduce the Monarch? I mean, Aragorn's really big. Okay, I will play Aragorn. I think I'm interested in getting scrappy. Just having the biggest creature versus an aggro deck is good. And I can Solitude next turn. I have to fetch a basic land to get through the Thalia. But I'm going to work here. Lightning Bolt's great. How hard am I getting punished right now? Squee Dubious Monarch is a bunch of extra attackers and an extra legend. I think they're supposed to sack Sinu before combat. because they're going to get in with a legend here. It's guaranteed. Okay, block. I will eat the 1/1 and trade with the creature I can trade with. I take a bunch of damage. I lose the Monarch. And then I untap with Solitude. Potentially available. Ghostfire. Slice. Alright, well, this kills Aragorn. That sucks every ass. And I can't force him negation because I don't have a blue card. Well, that's really bad, and I probably lose now. Or no, my human knight has trample. I can take the Monarch back at the very least. This is a 2/1. Okay. Alright, so I even drew basic mountain. That's sick. Okay, I'm going to attack with my 2/1 trample. Or 2/2 trample into their 2/1 blocker. It takes 4 cards to get Squee back. Basic mountain. Game changer. I think I'm just going to Solitude Yoshimaru right now. Have to get basic island and then play Solitude. Deal with Yoshimaru. I should have bolted Thalia first. I'm a little sloppy here. Yoshi's in exile. Malcolm is in my hand. Yeah, Sinu comes back attacking. They'll like sack it every turn is a thing you can do. I don't think they should do it here because they get blown out by any removal spell. Oh, something's happening. Embercleave, yikes. All right, well, okay, so I can force some negation Embercleave. It only costs 3 to re-equip. Yeah, okay. I think this is necessary. I can bolt whatever they would equip to it this turn, but I would kind of prefer that just not be part of the game. Bolting Thalia. They can't replay Yoshi this turn. They do get the Monarch. They do put me to 6, but I have a lifelink creature in play. And I can replay Aragorn next turn, or this turn, when it goes to my turn, is what I'm trying to say. Squee is live here. Oh god, they had Pyrokinesis? Oh my sweet, merciful Poseidon. Well, that was really bad. Okay, I'm going to cast Aragorn and hope that he holds up. Okay, Squee is in the graveyard. Aragorn is here to block. Pyrokinesis, give me a break. Settle down over there. A Monarch trigger. Swords to Plowshares. All right, here we go. My life total is low, but my hand and board are very strong. It is my opponent's draw step here, plus the Monarch trigger to see where this game ends up. Urza Saga's fine. Squee's getting in. Block Squee. Gain a bunch of life. I lose the Monarch, but I actually gained life that combat. And Galvanic Discharge, sure. That sucks. That was the last card in their hand. Can we push back? Does not look like it. Yeah, there are just no creatures in my hand at this point, and I'm not the Monarch, and I'm completely cooked. Aragorn costs 8, which I don't have. I have 7. I'll play the Springs and hope my opponent does something that lets me invert their polarity. Okay, they're attacking. I guess I have to plow Sinu, even though it's super awkward to give them a card that comes back from exile in exile, but my life total is the only thing that matters right now. Sack it in response. That makes sense. I wonder if last turn I'm supposed to be dialed in enough to just not block Squee and keep Aragorn as a combat item. Obviously, hindsight, it would have gone better for me that way, but it also looked like they were just trying to push with 1 card in hand to take the Monarch, which is actually what's happening. They went top-bottom with their Scries. Okay, drawing a card of Sunbaked Canyon. Please shove something big that I can invert polarity on. At least give me a coin flip to win the game. That card's really good, but if they're clamping they're dopes, then I'm not taking damage from them. Alright, well, Aragorn. He's back. I have low confidence, but here he is. They get a 2/2, a 3/3, and then a 4/4. I'm definitely dead to any removal spell. I am likely dead if they don't have a removal spell. If they got Shadow Spear, they can make one of these into a 5/5. Oh god, Flowering of the White Tree. So now they have a lethal attack that I must block, and it will also have trample. Oh no, they ran out of mana to equip Shadow Spear. So I can chump here, or I can go to 1 and keep Aragorn. I think this game is better with Aragorn in it. Alright. I'll take my 5. They're just going to shock me to finish me off. Okay. They're clamping onto a token that now survives the clamp. Big draws, kids. Okay. I'm going to discharge the goblin. And now Aragorn can attack and make the existing creature unable to block. I gain 4 life, get the Monarch back. Still need a spike here. I need them to play a card into my invert polarity, or I need to draw something good off the Monarch. Come on, deck. Sulfur Falls is not it. Come on, opponent. Play a card you shouldn't. Escape that squee. Just put some stuff on the board. Give me a coin flip to win. Yoshimaru. I'll take him. I'll take anything. Anything that can block here. Okay. Well, it can block. Blue, red, blue. I still have to win this coin flip. I actually want this Magus of the Moon now. I won the flip. Give me that. Okay. We live another turn. Shadow Spear gives trample. That's going to be tough to navigate. But I have a chump now, and Aragorn is good at beating a single blocker back. Here's the equip. If they attack with just this, I will... Okay, well, that was a really good double equip. Am I just dead here? No, I have lifelink, so I'm not just dead, but I am in bad shape. Okay, I have to block with both of these. I gotta kill this thing. I will take 1 trample damage, which ends up being net 3, but I do lose the Monarch. And Skull Clamp triggers. Alrighty, deck. What do you got for me now? Ridiculous Archive's not it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Aragorn, you're back. You're back again, big guy. Alright, Monarch's mine. Opponent has 7 cards in their hand. Just 7, don't worry. That squee is still in the graveyard. I was taunting them with it last turn, but it's actually really powerful this turn. Because of Flowering of the White Tree, legendary creatures get +2/+1. That means squee trades with Aragorn. I would just have to block the token and take my beats elsewhere. I would be at 12. That would be 8, 9, 10. I'd go to 2, lose the Monarch. I'm just happy I made it this far. I feel like I should have been dead 15 minutes ago. Skyclave Apparition. I am mostly dead to that. I am literally dead to that, if they remember they have squee. Or any of the other 6 cards in their hand. I'm actually going to leave Aragorn under Skyclave, because I might need that 4/4. This game's getting dicey. I'm not going to cast Aragorn again. Fingers on the concede button. Okay, they found the line. Alright, yeah, that was sweet. Game 1 was able to stuff the aggression. Game 2, unable to stuff the aggression. In Game 3, they became a grindy prison deck. And it wasn't even really about aggression. I killed Yoshi once, and they never even tried to redeploy him. Good stuff. On to the final round. These games are a lot of fun, at least. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in the final round, positive record on the line, and the redemption arc starts now. My positive record is on the line against the deck that beat me in round 1 of this very league. I'm going to keep. And my plan here is to fetch Meticulous Archive, but it can become Elegant Parlor if it has to. Plains Giver. I'm going to fetch Meticulous Archive with this. Bone Crusher Giant is really good in the matchup, but I do need lands here. I'm going to take the Discipline Laydown, and I'm going to fetch Volcanic Island to kill Giver of Runes. And I'm holding up Stern Scolding for Felia. Let's see if they try to main phase her like previous opponents have. Glimmer Lens. Yeah, I mean, that resolves. I could force it, but I like all the cards in my hand. Shit! I tried so hard. Dumped a Bone Crusher Giant. That would actually be great here to try to hit my land and did not find it. Glimmer Lens isn't super scary until they have a second creature. When this creature and at least one other creature attack, you draw a card. Right now it's just Grizzly Bears. But that could change quickly. Selfless Savior. That will be a problem just because it turns on the Glimmer Lens. But I can't Stern Scolding it because Felia will beat me. Yeah, just missing a land drop's going to completely cook me here. Found a land. Better late than never, but only barely. Okay, I'm going to play this on the white side. Yeah, white side pathway. And I'll pass. I have to leave up Stern Scolding for the Felia because I can't have them flickering their Glimmer Lens. Scold this. It gives me 5 cards in the graveyard. A fetch land is good. If I rip the land for Parallax Wave, that buys me a bunch of time. I love that cube cards like Glimmer Lens and Malcolm get played in this format, and they're actually good. City of Traders. Okay, that's the first fast mana I've seen in this entire league played by anyone. Stoneforge Mystic, spooky. Galdra Complete in the hand. Deck, it would be a great time to give me this Parallax Wave. Alright, well, I guess I'll just play Fable of the Mirror Breaker because they can't play Felia with the mana they're showing anyway, and I am in a lot of trouble to everything. Am I just dead? It's pretty close. And obviously, having missed 2 land drops now, I wish I would have pitched a Born Oculus to force the Glimmer Lens. That's a card they don't draw. It's 4 or 6 life. I still have. Yeah, they have Lava Spur Boots that brings the beats here as if they need more beats. Skull Clamp, that one's good too. I imagine it's built. These decks are built for the metagame where maybe you're expecting a lot of Aragorn mirrors, but not having a single Supreme Verdict or even like Brotherhood's End, Anger of the Gods. There's Fury and Pyrokinesis, but not a Wrath of God to be found, and that would have been great in basically all of my rounds. All right, I'm dead to this. They phase this out, attack for lethal. Okay. Well, you can't afford to stumble. We know that. I wasted the play. Didn't win a game where I was on the play against aggro. Okay, once again, I will keep this hand with Flame Slash in it. Reflecting Pool is unreliable here. Or I guess I can get... No, it's fine. I can get Elegant Parlor with Scalding Tarn, and that does what I need to do. Or take it back. Okay, 1-drop interaction up the curve to Aragorn with the 4 lands to cast him. Please work this time. Scalding Tarn, pass. Benevolent Bodyguard. The good version from Judgment. I like this opponent better than my first round opponent already. Elegant Parlor. Tail's End. Their deck's full of triggers, and Felia is a legend. I'll put that on top. I guess I will slash this Bodyguard. It's keeping the pressure off. Flame Slash doesn't work as long as Bodyguard's in play. And as we just discussed, I'm not waiting for a sweeper because I don't play any. They thought for a while, then just passed. Reflecting Pool as a tri-land. I can Scold Felia and then also have Tail's End still up going into their turn. There's some interesting conversation to be had of should I Tail's End the confirmed legend and save Stern Scolding for their deck full of creatures. But a lot of their creatures, their power is nested in a triggered ability when they cast them. Arkham's Astrolabe. I love that. I might play this deck just because I get to play Arkham's Astrolabe again. We finally have a home. I'm going to shove Archivist of Ogma here. At least get that into play. If they mana tithe this, it means they're not tithing Aragorn. Okay, I'm shoving Aragorn. They did have the tithe, timed it correctly. That card is a stern beating at all times. Because they spent mana, I am going to attack with Archivist. If they had 2 mana up, I probably wouldn't. All right, Plow also. And this means if they main phase Felia, they got her. Novice Inspector, that's not a Felia. Drawn a clue. They're looking for their land, and they seem to have found it. There are 3 cards in my graveyard right now. I think it's a good time to brainstorm. Iganjo, Invert Polarity. I like most of these cards. I'm going to put back Oculus and Steam Vents, play Sulfur Falls, and pass. 2 counterspells now, one of which I can cast, whichever one makes more sense. The lands are lined up to replay Aragorn. Novice Inspector did not attack. Felia was not cast. No other spell was cast either. Okay, blue, blue, red, blue colorless. I can play Steam Vents tapped and still have Invert plus Tail's End available. Steam Vents tapped, pass the turn. And here's this Tail's End finding its target. I have to tap out of Mutavault, which lets them attack if I want access to Invert Polarity, which I do. I can afford the 1 point of damage. Going back to my starting life total. Overlord of the Mistmoors. I would like that. I lost the flip. Bummer. Just a counterspell. Okay, it's a Bornoculus time. They took out their big creature, got one of my own. I'm going to hold Iganjo as an Iganjo rather than as a Plains. Memory Lapse and Tithe. Alright, Tithe it can be the creature in case I draw Snapcaster. I'd rather have Memory Lapse in the graveyard. Sad. Okay, yeah, that puts that on top of my deck where I have to draw it again, which I don't want to do. A very clean answer to that specific threat. Esper Sentinel, okay. Portable Hole. I'm in the hole. My Tithe is in the hole. Okay, pretty dangerous spot to just tap all the way out, but I think it must be done. And I've changed my mind on Iganjo. It's going to be a land. Leaving up Reflecting Pool. That maximizes things I could draw here. It's a very Time Raveler. Haven't seen that one. Forgot that was even in the deck. It's not very good. They can definitely take the Monarch if they just send the squad. I just have to hope they can't kill Aragorn when they do it. Well, Teferi has a target now. Do not return him to the command zone. I want him under the thin ice. So they'll have 1 turn as the Monarch. When Aragorn comes back in, I get the Monarch again. Then they can replay the ice and take Aragorn again. But we just gotta seesaw back and forth, see some cards. Hope things work out. A basic mountain. Okay. I'll play that. And I've got 1, 2, 3. And I will pay the Esper Sentinel toll with Steam Vents. This leaves up Mutavault. Teferi, bounce on thin ice. Give me my Aragorn back, please. At least temporarily. Fury! You don't say. It's not useful yet, but this is the type of thing I was looking for to get this board back where it needs to be. Sacred Foundry. Lazotep Quarry. Sack a creature at a mana of any color. X2. Sacrifice a desert. Exile target creature card to mana value X or less from your graveyard. Create a token copy of it. That's a 4/4 zombie. Okay. That's a cool card I've never seen as well. What is this from? Modern Horizons 3 Commander. Cool. From the set that brought you Planar Nexus. On thin ice. What a surprise. My ice is so thin. I am going to put him in the command zone this time. Now opponent has to decide if they are happy to sacrifice Esper Sentinel to get the Monarch back. Are they going to put any attackers on Teferi? What are the priorities for them here? A 4/4 Esper Sentinel is a pretty scary thing, because then I have to pay 4 for every spell I cast. But they use the quarry to wake up the factory. These are all attacking me. Okay. Mutavault, wake up. Block Esper Sentinel. And this means I get to keep Teferi. And it means that my Mutavault can take the Monarch back. Unless Mutavault dies now somehow. Recruiter of the Guard. One of the best cards in their deck, I'm sure. They're going to main phase pitch a Solitude. Leave me with nothing. They tutored Palace Jailer. The Monarch gaming continues. Big draws, Hallowed Fountain. Not the big draw I wanted. I'm going to cast Fury to kill their things. And then I'll attack with Mutavault. Vault Gang, rise up. And I'm going to shock in Hallowed Fountain just on the possibility that I draw a counterspell. Big draws, Lightning Bolt. Okay. I'm not upset about Lightning Bolt. Council's Judgment, chill. So much removal. Alright, they're voting for Fury. That's a good thing to vote for. This Lightning Bolt's going to be insane here. This might be a game-winning Lightning Bolt. Bang. And they tap their Quarry again, which means they can't, and they were short on mana to do it anyway, but okay, I've successfully defended the Monarch for an entire turn cycle. I get to untap and I still have it. Aragorn costs 8 right now. I am short of playing that and having protection, which I need because we know they have Palace Jailer in hand. I'm just going to chip shot with Mutavault and pass the turn. Teferi's ready to draw another card starting next turn. Sink into Stupor can be the land I need to play Aragorn, but it's also the spell I have to interact with Palace Jailer, so that doesn't make sense. Pyrogoyf. Finally, something that can win a game. Blade Splicer. So this is just 2 dopes. You can have 2 dopes. I can bounce the token and just delete it outright if I'm worried about it, which I'm mostly not. Counterspell. That makes life a lot better. I think I'm okay using Teferi to delete the Golem token, or I could plus Teferi, Pyrogoyf, kill Blade Splicer, use Counterspell to protect. That's sloppy. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to Pyrogoyf first to play around Reprieve. Pyrogoyf. I think this should kill Blade Splicer. I could try to win the game faster than this, but I'm not going to. I don't need to win the game fast, I just need to win the game. And I'm going to leave my 6/7 in play. I can counterspell Palace Jailer. If they can somehow win that fight, I can sink into Stupor the Golem. And I still have Mutavault that can attack, and now Teferi won't die when I bounce. Like, there's a world there where I just sacrifice Teferi to bounce the Golem, Pyrogoyf go face, and try to attack a few times and win. I just don't think that's actually going to work. Pre-war Formal Wear. This can get back any of the shitters in their graveyard. I don't want this to happen. Stinks to use Counterspell like this, but they keep putting good cards into play. What do you want me to do? I can't afford that getting Recruiter of the Guard, which gets Flicker Wisp, which goes off. Okay. I've completed the turn cycle I was hoping to complete. Oh, a Johnny, another card I forgot was in my deck. I'm going to bounce the Phyrexian Golem. Lorien Revealed. Lots of sweet cards here. Okay, they just tapped out to that. Don't want me to have to figure it out. And one final game. Here we go. Okay, Heat Flage slash in my opener with the mana to cast them all. Every hand with this deck just looks so good. If you have 3 or 4 spells and then 3 or 4 lands, every hand looks great. I'm in. They've got a Plains and a Ghost Vacuum. That makes Flage a bit worse. That is one thing that's pretty funny to me about the format. Like, you just have to put a card like Ghost Vacuum in your deck. As I imagine the Reanimator decks are probably tough for this, and you just need cards that interact at all. But then you play against decks like this one, where obviously having the Flage kind of is making my point not great here. But I mostly don't care. Thundering Falls. True Name Nemesis, let's go, right on top. It was built to kill decks like this one. Right, they're going for Felia now, playing around counter spells, but playing into sorcery speed removal, which I do have, luckily for me. I'm going to slash this. I'm going to use the sorcery when the sorcery is good. I might get punished if they play an X3 creature in the future, but right now I feel mostly okay with that deal. I'm worried about this Dust Bowl. Can't really play around it. Recruiter of the Guard, best card in their deck. They got Solitude. That does not kill True Name Nemesis. We have seen Council's Judgment in their deck. That doesn't mean I'm going to play around it. Shauna's Tidebinder. I would really like lands, but this card is really good. Alright, I will keep this. And hope that True Name can, in fact, find a Nemesis and take it down. True Name Nemesis. They're vacuuming me in response. We're in there. Council's Judgment works. Trample creature like Cauldron works. Ranger Cap does not interact with True Name. We've seen Esper Sentinel and Novice Inspector. I imagine Thraben Inspector's in here too. I wonder if they have a tutor bullet that is helpful here, or they're all just little value guys like that. I could use Tidebinder on a random Ghost Vacuum activation, and then that unlocks Flage, but Flage is happening so slowly here that I don't think that actually matters. Flage is just going to be a clunky Lightning Helix at some point in this game. Mother of Runes. Yeah, that one's solid. Okay, untap land for Aragorn. No love. Do I want to try to race this opponent? I'm not winning the game any other way. Race is on. With Flage, removal, multiple flash 3 drops, I think this is how I'm supposed to play this game. I'm not going to Tidebind that for the reasons I just described. They're in for 4. I am losing the race, but I have a bunch of spells I can play, including Flage that can just dome their head at some point. Draneth Magistrate. Okay, so I can't play Aragorn if this card's in play, but I don't need Aragorn for this game I'm playing. There's the Mother. I'm going to play Hull Breacher right now. It's just a 3-power thing that's good enough to attack here. And if they Solitude this, it'll cost them 2 cards, and I'll gain 3 life in a racing situation. I'm fine with all that. And if I get to untap, I can Tails End the Solitude trigger. They're thinking about it right now. All the cards in the hand are spells, because they missed their land drop the last 2 turns. And they are going for the Solitude, pitching Cataclysm. Sweet card. Okay. I gained some life. The Solitude's gone, along with another card. I found a land. Unholy Heat, Mother of Runes, while I still can. Glacial Fortress. And I'm still interested in racing. Tidebinder can jump in and tangle with these creatures if I wanted to. I can use Flage to kill Draneth if I want to unlock Aragorn. They're tucking a Solitude under the vacuum. It seems unlikely that this game is headed towards 6 mana to make the spirits, but I've been surprised before. Yeah, I'm not going to ambush with Tidebinder. I am losing this race, but not if you account for Flage, which I know about and they don't. Raven Inspector is fine. Okay, I am actually going to counter this. Now they've used their resources for the turn, denying them this draw. They spent 3 mana on a 1-2. Now I'm back ahead of the race again. These are all things I want. If I draw a land, I can Tails End the Sacrifice Flage trigger. That's another insane thing I can do here. Okay, now I can kill many things whenever I want. Attack. Okay. How much do I need to think about Ephemerate? Is that something I'm worried about? I should probably just kill their biggest creature now, while I know I can. Okay. So they activated in response, which fizzles Discharge, and I can't play Counterspell this turn. You got me. I exiled my Discharge to play around Snapcaster, which doesn't matter anyway because of Draneth. I feel good here. I'm just going to climb on True Name Nemesis's back and go coast to coast. Glimmer Lens. I think I am just going to counterspell this. I don't really want them doing anything. They're kind of constrained to 1 spell per turn. Don't want them drawing cards. They're dead on board. Or they're dead to the card I know is in my hand that they don't know about. Ooh, 2 cards just got pitched. Are we going to March of Otherworldly Light here? Or Sunscour? Do they play Sunscour? Okay, it is March of Otherworldly Light. Tidebinder's gone. And that cost them Portable Hole and Ranger Captain. I am still winning this race. Oh, wow. I'm about to win this race even harder. My opponent is Hellbent. Right now, Polluted Delta, fetch. I'll get a Volcanic Island. Flage. Red, white, colorless. I'm going to go face to make True Name lethal. And I'm going to Tails End the trigger. Bang. All right, top deck your way out of this. You got to beat True Name Nemesis and Flage with 1 card. They exiled my counterspell with Ghost Vacuum. F6. What can you do? Nothing. Redemption arc complete. Okay, a positive record. I went in. I only played this format 1 time before, and it was with Atraxa, which is a very different deck than this. That deck's just trying to go over the top combo style with everything. This is more of a tempo control deck, and it is really cool how good all the decks in this format are and how you have to really be on top of your conditional interaction, because if like you use your Tails End on one thing that later you lose to a activated ability versus if you had used Counterspell then later you lose to a legend. I don't know, like it's really sweet. And managing the board, because as we found out, you can lose to just like a Glimmer Lens that sneaks through if you're not ready to deal with that. Obviously, this format is super customizable. You get 99 cards and they all have to be different. So like just off the jump here, Detectives Phoenix was never a card I drew, but never seemed like a card that I would want. Abhorrent Oculus was good a couple times, but it's also really bad against some of the played removal in the format. Like maybe this one's good enough, but I really missed having a Supreme Verdict, a Brotherhood's End, just something that can mop up when your opponent goes a little bit wide. Like we have Parallax Wave, Pyrokinesis, and Fury, but those are not no questions asked, make them dead type of things, where a deck with this many counterspells might need that button to hit. This is a lot of fun. I see why people like this. I see why it's such a big format. If you're into Duel Commander, definitely check it out. Last year, there was a tournament for a Black Lotus in France, and it's that big. This was a delightful distraction from the relatively rancid 60-card constructed formats right now. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you enjoyed this type of thing, definitely let me know. Share the video with your friends. Tell them to watch it. If the numbers are good, I am not opposed to revisiting this sort of thing in the future. Aragorn, thanks for the outing. See you later, everyone.